Subtube, Buddha here, and today I am showcasing some highlights from my KC Cup experience so far. As you can see, I am duel level 23, not quite max yet. I've been taking my time and playing casually. However, the replays I have so far are quite explosive and fun. As you can see, I'm still playing Harpy Lady. A little different from the deck list that I showcased in my last video. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a button for you in the corner of the screen. Now, the most notable change, if you haven't already noticed, is I have the NEOS Fusion and the Elemental Hero Brave NEOS in the deck now. It's much sturdier and actually gives more card advantage in turn 1, as you'll see in some of the replays. I included the Lightning Vortex because with Brave NEOS on the field, Thunder Spark Dragon would be more difficult, if not impossible, to get on the field while Brave NEOS is on the field. So I have the Lightning Vortex to offset that and take care of Lunalight Saber Dancer if we happen to see one. Haven't seen Lunalights at all in the KC just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them. Furthermore, Lightning Vortex is a good response to the Steel Swarm Roach and the Photon Strike Bouncer, as well as opposing Harpies before I play anything on the field. I have a single copy of Book of Moon, and one less Swallow's Nest, as well as one less Harpy, because the NEOS Fusion makes the deck a lot more accessible. I cover Harpies in great detail in another video, so again, if you haven't seen that one and are interested in some Harpy Lady tips and tricks, be sure to check out that video as well. Give this one a like, and without further ado, let's get to the replays. This first one's against the proverbial Blue Eyes White Dragon, and this is pretty much all I've seen in the KC, really. It's Blue Eyes White Dragon and Resonators, the occasional Harpy Lady mirror match, but for the most part, Blue Eyes. So, I'm going first, and you know how Harpy starts. Usually we summon into our Synchro Boss there, getting 3 Harpies into the graveyard, before using Harpy's Feather Rest and praying to God that we draw back row. That's Harpies in a nutshell. Luckily we draw into the Lance here, so I'm going to set that face down. I special summon Harpy Oracle here to retrieve my Harpy's Feather Rest and end my turn. Now, I do want to state here that I probably should have used this Elegant Egotist to summon Abyss Dweller. And to be honest, I'm just now beginning to grasp how important it is to summon Abyss Dweller during, against certain decks, like Resonators, as you'll see later. But I just didn't think of it in turn 1, not this game, honestly. He goes for the Ancient Rules, going for that obvious Dragon Spirit of White. It's either that or Sage that will get that white on the field in turn 2. Luckily, I got the Lance, and luckily he doesn't have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in his hand. Otherwise, he would have evaded that bounce right there. Now, if I summoned Abyss Dweller in turn 1, this Blue Eyes wouldn't be on the field, so I acknowledge that. Now, this face down card here is worrying me. So I go straight for the Elegant Egotist and bounce that obvious stone that he had sitting there face down. And it's my intention to go into Malevolent Sin to scare him into popping this Karma Cut. I know it's a Karma Cut. What else would it be? The only other thing it could really be, going by popular ranking, would be the Ultimate Providence. And I can tell from the delay that this was not the Providence. So I go for Malevolent Sin just to bait the Karma Cut. And then go for my real plan here, which is to summon Abyss Dweller, which I should have done turn 1, but it really works out in this case. I go for the Harpy's Last Will to get the Feather Duster, just so I can discard it using the Lightning Vortex. And from here, I just swing for the game. So, yeah, very standard duel. A little one-sided, but not too bad. Speaking of Dweller, I really want to show you what this card can do. I haven't really been using it much until recently. There's been a lot of graveyard effects lately, but I want to show you something. He's going to lead off with this Flutist into his Giga Gloves, and if you've come across Superheavy Samurai before, then you'll know how much of a pain this startup can be for most decks. But thanks to the addition of XCs, you know, strategies like this really can't do much. At least not against a deck like mine that can easily Xyz summon monsters onto the field. Now just watch what I do here. It starts off looking the same, but as you can see, I've got a pretty killing hand here. I'm going to go straight for the Dweller because with the Flutist and the Graveyard there, I'm not going to be able to target the Stealth Ninja with Cyber / Harpy Lady without being destroyed. So that's why I go straight for the Dweller here. Go for my Harpy, get my Harpy's Last Will, and I only have to use Lance. I can even hold on to my Lightning Vortex there, because with Dweller on the field, he can't even use Giga Gloves. So that's the power of Abyss Dweller, and that's why I saved this replay, to show you that. Now this here is a prequel to what's coming, and I believe what could be a tiered deck. This is a Resonator opponent, and yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but so I'm going to lead off in the usual way, so we're going to skip right through that. Now, as you can see, this is when I was running my older build, before I was running NEOS, so you know, don't freak out there. How are you running 2 NEOS Fusion and Treacherous Trap Hole? I'm not. This is my old build that I showcased in my previous video. So moving on. With the Resonator call, I mean, Jack Atlas just has this full combo no matter what nowadays. I'm really liking how Resonators look. I've got 2 of the Crimson Resonators so far. I think I need 1 more before I can comfortably make this deck myself. So he's got the Dark End Dragon, gains a ton of life there, and then goes into Bane, has 2 set cards, not looking very good for me with just only this Harpy Lady. Luckily I have the Swallow's Nest and the Treacherous Trap Hole. So let's see how this goes. I draw on a Channeler. That's really good for me. Now here I have access to Harpy's Last Will. I Synchro Summon first, which was a little risky, but I do that just so I can use for effect here. And it looks like he didn't really have a response because he just goes for the Cosmic Cyclone and then scoops. Just kind of funny. He goes for the Cosmic first, like screw your Harpy's Feather Duster. I don't know what that face down card was, but my instincts are telling me that that might have been his other true nade or some kind of bluff. Now I'm going to show you the same deck, but in the hands of a god, or at least someone who got the right hand. Now, we're going first again, and I can't wait to show you this because this was kind of crazy, as you'll see here in a minute. Now, I go for the Elegant Egotist, bringing this Harpy Lady onto the field, because I see here I'm against Jack Atlas. I know that there's an incoming barrage. So without any back row in my hand, I'm trying to gain as much of a foothold as I can because I don't want to get wiped out in turn 2. So I also go for the NEOS Fusion and throw the Harpy Harpist in there, which is going to give me a search at the end phase. It also puts a 4th Harpy on in the graveyard. So I get the Harpy's Feather Duster as well. So at the end phase, I have 6 cards available to me. Not bad. He goes for the Demon's Resonance. Sets a card. Okay, now there's nothing new so far. He gains a ton of life from that red Resonator. He goes for the Infernity Doom Dragon, which is like, ooh, cool. However, he doesn't use his effect to destroy Cyber/Harpy Lady. Had he done that this turn, he would have won this turn, actually. But he didn't go for that effect before he summoned Bane here. And then he goes for his normal summon. This guy hadn't even used a normal summon yet, and he already had a level 10 Synchro boss on the field. I mean, that is some serious summoning power. It's at this point that Resonators are definitely on my radar. During this duel right here, when I started thinking that maybe they might even be tiered with this Infernity combination. This kind of blew me away as well, because prior to this duel, I didn't know that people were mixing Infernity Engine with Resonators, which is kind of crazy because this guy searches Infernity Barrier, so now he has a negate in turn 3. Gets another Red Rising Dragon, and then summons Dark End Dragon, and uses that to remove Cyber Slash. Now, had he used Infernity Doom Dragon to destroy Cyber Slash, he would have done 1,300 points of damage to me, and then he would have had Dark... Yeah. So there's that. And that's why he didn't win this turn. I go for the Feather Duster to bait this Infernity Barrier here, because I didn't really have a choice, because if I'd used the Vortex, he would have negated that. I had to use the Vortex to get rid of his small army there. Now, it's here that I make a grave error. I go for the Cyber/Harpy Lady instead of going for Abyss Dweller. I was more focused on damage when I should have been focused on this right here, because it's that card that allows him to recover in the next turn. If I had Abyss Dweller there, I could have slowed him down. Still not sure if I would have won this duel, but I definitely would have slowed him down. So something to note for later. You know, I'm going to need Dweller if I'm going to stop this Wandering King Wildwind, because he can use that skill twice in one duel. Jack got a major buff. Yeah, so I go ahead and surrender once I draw into the Swallow's Nest. There's really nothing I can do there. This last one is against Shooting Star Dragon. And this deck has been getting a lot of attention since Yusei also got his buff with that skill Shooting Star Road, which I don't believe will be limited to Shooting Star Dragon, according to what I've seen and heard, but we'll just have to see as the meta settles. Now, I lead off with NEOS Fusion again, and this replay really displays just how much card advantage you can get by using the NEOS Fusion in turn 1. Now, since I have that and the Harpy's Feather Rest, I throw my Harpy Harpist into the grave. I'm able to get my my Harpy's Feather Duster from the skill. I use my Feather Rest, and I can actually leave Harpist in the graveyard now. Which also grants me a search at the end phase. So going into his main phase, I'm at +2. That's really good card advantage. He goes for the Cosmic Cyclone, removes my Book of Moon, and then Book of Moon's my Harpy Lady, so I won't be able to disrupt him. He gets full summon this turn. And most of us knows what that looks like, so let's go ahead and speed through that. Now, if you didn't notice earlier, he got a Tuning Gum into the graveyard, which is something that we should note going into the battle phase here. He gets 2 attacks. Luckily, I have NEOS on the field. If I didn't, I would have been hit for hella damage. I go for a Forbidden Lance in the damage step because I was curious to see if the Tuning Gum can negate during the damage step. Some cards can't activate, but it looks like Tuning Gum can activate in the damage step, in case you were wondering. Luckily, I'm able to keep NEOS on the field, and he only got 2 attacks. Now, since I forced him to use that Tuning Gum, there's really not much more to say here. All I have to do is go into Cyber Slash and use a spell, as he well knows. So that's the end of that duel. Very straightforward there. Now, I wish I had some different duels to show you, perhaps some that were a little bit more neck and neck, but sometimes with the nature of Duel Links, especially in a highly competitive event like the KC Cup, duels only last 2 to 3 turns. And that's how most of them have been. But if you did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and please interact. I love your comments. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.